So, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Gracias por tomar este momento para respirar y hacer lo que pueda cambiar tu vida para siempre. Mi nombre es Ragnar Sinikes. Soy la fundadora de Dominar TV, Cómo dominar la conferencia mundial, creadora de Coral Desk, de los creadores de y coautora de 3 libros que pronto lanzarán sobre secretos y secretos. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Hoy tengo el honor de hablar con Yvonne Campbell desde Estados Unidos. Les va a ayudar Gabriela Gutierrez Mora con translación. ¿Alguien tiene su micrófono?
Thank you.
Yvonne, can you put your microphone volume because it has a lot of echo?
Okay. Is that a little bit better?
Yeah.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Before you start, I will do a short introduction, which is Yvonne Campbell is an award-winning financier in sales and service, accomplished negotiator, keynote speaker, trainer, industrial designer, tough leader, humanitarian, and author. Campbell CEO, Group, into graphic designs and specialization infrastructure, development, and communication services. Still with us, can you move a little?
You want me to move a little?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. And how that sounds much better for you?
Yes, now it sounds better. So
okay.
Tell us a little bit about you, who you are, what is your history, and what are you doing here today? And Gabby is going to help us with translation.
Okay. Well, thank you. Yes, and it's Yvonne Gamble, and I thank you. I am the CEO for SanPete Financial Group, and we are a venture capital firm. And what we do is we help small businesses to do fundraising, venture capital between 3 million and 120 billion for their various projects they have around the world. Now, I began all of this actually as an adjustment clerk at a Fortune 500 bank, American National Bank in Chicago, Illinois, in the US. And I was making penny era adjustments to $1 million bank accounts. And I will tell you, I learned quite a bit from that experience. And actually, as you'll see when I go through and tell you what the things I've done, I actually came back to where I started. And I went on to become a bank land trust representative, a syndicated lender, a mortgage banker, and then I had a stint in advertising. And during that time I was in advertising, I actually went to Columbia University in Chicago, studied journalism, public relations, and advertising, and got my degree in that. And then later I went on to Computer Learning Center and got a programming certificate. And that was during the time when advertising and digital advertising was really just coming online. So it was back in the early 80s that I did that. Later, I went into a computer-aided transcription company, Xscribe Corporation. And what they do, what you'll know most notable is you see the closed caption for the hearing impaired. We developed that software that you have, and also the translation software that you see used at UNs and hospitals and different companies around the world. We developed that software so I could speak in one language and you could actually hear me in your language. Makes it very easy. So I worked there until we sold off the company in 1989, went public and sold the company to NCR in the States. And that's when I went into my own business, actually telecommunications regulatory with Outersphere Communications. And my clients were AT&T, MCI, and GTE, which you now know as Verizon. And those are my clients. And we worked on the North American number pooling. And that's when all the area codes were changing. And the North American plan, that was for the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And those were all the areas, and those were our territories we worked in and did negotiations with all the different governments and in their federal communications bureaus. And from that, after that, I actually came back into.
Because I think it's a lot for Gabby
Yes.
to remember. So let's give the microphone for Gabby for
Thank you.
Claro que sí. Muchas gracias. Bueno, sí es un currículum bastante impresionante el que tiene Yvonne. Primero, ella es la directora general del grupo SanPete Finncial, donde se dan créditos a pequeñas y grandes empresas a partir de $3 millones hasta $1 billón. Esto basado en su experiencia, primero siendo banquera de diferentes actividades en los bancos, como son el tema hipotecario, el tema de préstamos y el tema de captación en todo lo que es bancos. También tiene una trayectoria en publicidad, justamente con las áreas bancarias, y tiene también relaciones públicas y comunicación en esas mismas áreas. También tiene unos antecedentes muy fuertes e importantes en comunicación, en sistemas de computación, donde ha desarrollado softwares especiales de comunicación para hospitales y traductores, en varios idiomas, especialmente del inglés al español. Es más, estos softwares que desarrolló, uno escucha en simultáneo en su propio idioma, lo cual es bastante impresionante. Luego ella vende esta compañía de software y de comunicación, donde sus principales clientes son AT&T y Verizon, que ahora es Verizon, y ha desarrollado también toda la parte del cambio de LADAs o códigos de área para la telefonía en Estados Unidos, Canadá y México. Es lo que hasta ahora, en resumen, acabamos de decir.
So, Yvonne,
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. And I'll just basically kind of wrap that up. What I was able to do with all of the experience that I have, that's brought me back into the area that I've loved. I've done financial services all throughout the years since 1976, either doing financial training for women's organizations, doing political fundraising. I also have done several weeks with training and with Jackson Hewitt with the tax services. I would work with them, during their seasonal times as well. So that's what brought me back to where you see me today in the venture capital world, and really loving it. And also it afforded me, the experience that I have afforded me to actually have access to the investors, because those are my number one clients are the investors, and I find them the people that they're looking for, who they want to invest in.
Muy bien, también añadiendo a su experiencia, que es totalmente financiera, ella se identifica mucho con la parte financiera y también con políticas para manejar asociaciones sin fines de lucro y apoyos fiscales. Entonces, ha tenido acceso a inversionistas y a personas que quieren no solo invertir, sino también al tema de créditos a través de estas fundaciones.
Entonces, me voy a preguntar en español primero y después en inglés. Entonces, ¿cuáles son 3 estrategias que podemos usar nosotros como dueños de negocios So the question that I'm going to ask you is, what are the 3 strategies that business owners can do now to position them for the future?
What they can do right now, and that is they can create or strengthen their crisis management plan. In this pandemic caught you with your holes in your umbrellas where either you didn't have a plan in place or your plan in place needs to be better, now is the time to strengthen that crisis plan. Your crisis plan should have a communications. Many companies, the working staff did not know who they were supposed to take directions from. And in some instances, that person who was the actual head person may or may not have been able to be in contact based on what was going on or maybe what was happening with their families. Just as it was very disheartening to see Prime Minister of United Kingdom, Boris Johnson, he was struck down with COVID-19 right at the onset, and they did not bring in a successor until he actually was in the ICU. So we thank God that he actually recovered from that. He's out, he's a little weak, but he is recovering, he's doing much better. But that is something that every business owner needs to have a succession plan in place. And that's not just a plan to say, when I expire, what they're going to do, who's going to take over. I just may want to retire or may want to go, sit on a mountain and go and do something with my children. But you have to have a succession plan in place. Another critical component is your IT plan. Go ahead.
Let's have Gaby to translate that.
Sí, con respecto a la pregunta que son 3 pasos que haría para poder manejar el tema de una crisis como la que se está viviendo, es las empresas deben tener, o las personas que manejan empresas deben tener un plan de crisis. ¿Sí? Que esto implica una comunicación al personal que está a su cargo de qué es lo que está pasando para también conocer qué es lo que pasa con sus familias. Tiene que haber un plan de sucesión de la persona importante o del dueño de la empresa que tiene que ser comunicado hacia sus subalternos, hacia su gente y su equipo. Porque no solamente es en el caso, y ponía el ejemplo, Yvonne, del primer ministro de Inglaterra que fue contagiado con el COVID y que se debe tener un plan de sucesión en caso de enfermedad o en el caso de retiro de la persona importante. Es muy importante tener el plan de sucesión y comunicarlo al equipo o a las personas que están dentro de la empresa.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And another critical piece of your crisis management plan is your IT plan, your information technology. Right now, the data hackers are having a field day with technology and data that's out there that is left unsecured. And unfortunately, many small businesses are going to have a very big problem on their hand with trying to actually gather that data back and whatever repercussions that come from having that data out there in the public side. So that's a very critical component. The number 2 thing that you can do is create an online presence. And I'm not speaking in terms of just more Facebook posts or Twitter posts. What I'm saying is you need to create yourself, add value, bring value to the client, bring value to the world at large with what you do. Begin a teaching of some sort where you're actually bringing knowledge and you're bringing value to the clientele. Also, what you want to do is, this is the perfect time to create an expansion plan. And you may be thinking, this is not the time for that, but it is the perfect time to create an expansion plan. Picture this. If you were to suck your stomach in, your lungs would automatically inflate. Your lungs and your stomach never at the same time are both in. Think of right now, the economy is contracting, like you're sucking your stomach in, and your lungs are like your business. It is expanding. And now is the time. There's many opportunities that are out there that are bond. What can you do during this pandemic to help others? Or what could you be doing? now is the perfect time to think about those things in your expansion plan.
Gaby.
Sí. Sí, se hablan de dos temas que son muy importantes para las empresas. El primero es mantener la información segura de la empresa, toda esa información que es exclusiva, que es la oferta de valor que tiene una empresa hacia sus clientes, debe ser asegurada. Todo lo que es la tecnología tiene que estar resguardada y con un seguro. Eso es lo recomendable ante los tiempos de crisis. Si no se ha hecho antes, debe hacerse ahora mismo. Y también se tiene que crear un valor a través del conocimiento de la clientela, de cuál es el plan de expansión de esa empresa. Es un buen momento para hacer un plan de expansión porque existe una crisis y se debe tener un plan alterno de crecimiento. Se pone como ejemplo el cuerpo humano, que cuando respira, una de las dos partes del cuerpo, ya sea la parte del abdomen o la parte de los pulmones, es la que se infla. Entonces, en ese sentido y con esa analogía, se debe crear el plan de expansión, de que si no es la parte de los pulmones, es la parte del abdomen la que tiene que inflarse. Eso es muy importante para las empresas actualmente. Y a lo mejor se piensa que no es un buen momento para hacer una expansión o para crear un plan de expansión, pero es precisamente el momento de crisis donde se debe tomar en cuenta la expansión y hacia dónde va la empresa en este tiempo de crisis.
Y como yo estaba escribiendo ayer que vamos a hablar sobre los principios de cómo levantar fondos en nivel global, entonces quería saber, como Yvonne tiene tanto de experiencia en esa industria, para saber sus maneras o principios que está usando ella. So, what are the global fundraising principles that every business owner should know?
What has helped me down through the years and would be extremely beneficial to business owners is the Association of Fundraising Professionals. One of their development series that they did actually that really has resonated with me, they did in a series ebooks in 2013. It stands out, and the title of it is, I want to give that to the listeners, and that is Global Fundraising, How the World is Changing the Rules of Philanthropy. It was written by Penelope Cagney and Bernard Ross. It can be easily found on Amazon. But what really resonates with me is a quote in there. And actually, I copied the quote down and I put it in a frame, and I have that in my office in a spot where when I come in every morning, I can see it. And the quote goes like this: generosity always finds a way to help those in need. The quote is by Isabella Navarro. She's the former development director at the University of Monterrey in Mexico. I'll let Gabby.
Muy bien, con respecto a la parte de la pregunta sobre cómo manejar la parte de levantar fondos en una empresa, siempre se debe tomar en cuenta esta relación con las asociaciones sin fines de lucro para entonces poder conocer estas necesidades de la gente y poder ayudar y estar en coordinación con esas asociaciones. Mencionó también que es algo que es muy importante, que es el libro escrito que está en Amazon, que está disponible en Amazon, y una frase que la dijo la persona Isabela Navarro, que es la directora de la Universidad de Monterrey en México, que es: la generosidad siempre encuentra una forma de ayudar a aquel que lo necesita. Entonces, esto es en resumen lo que se dice acerca de las fundaciones, pero siempre entender el principio de las fundaciones y tener presente esa asociación o ese nexo con las fundaciones sin fines de lucro.
And To truly understand the global principles, you first must understand how we got where we are today. We've been doing global fundraising since the dawn of trade, from Africa to Rome to China to India and many other countries, and down to what now became the Americas. And we can see how we have left our culture, we have left some of the way we eat, we've left some of the people all throughout the world. So we've always done trade. This is nothing that's new. And with any type of trade, with any type of agreements that we have, obviously we have to raise funds, we have to raise money in order to do these different types of things. But I will tell you, as our population grows and our economy grows, so does our social and humanitarian needs. They also grow. I want to leave you with two guiding principles that every business owner should seek to incorporate in their mindset regarding global fundraising. Number one, business owners must be proactive and responsive to establishing partnerships and working across borders. Number two, business owners have a responsibility to take action and be an active part in shaping civil society. That is inclusive of government, corporate sectors, individuals, and giving voice to the voiceless.
Me encantaría traducir esto literalmente porque está muy buenas las frases. Yvonne ha levantado y ha hecho fondos, ha levantado fondos a través de, de su asociación sin fines de lucro en todo el mundo. Por todo este tiempo, fondos que incluyen donaciones en dinero y en especie a través de todo el mundo. Y quiere hablar de dos cosas muy importantes dirigidas hacia las empresas. Que deben, la primera es que las empresas deben ser activas en la búsqueda de la ayuda a través de las fundaciones para poder llegar a terceros que necesitan de estos recursos. Y la segunda es que toda empresa tiene que tener la responsabilidad de asociarse con las fundaciones porque tiene una obligación con la sociedad civil y también tiene que estar asociada con el gobierno y siempre viendo hacia las personas que más lo necesitan para poder integrar su granito de arena en la ayuda mundial.
So, as our show is called How to Dominate the Decade, then obviously I will ask what are your 3 recommendations how to dominate the decade? So, como nuestra plática es cómo dominar la década, entonces voy a preguntar cuáles son las 3 recomendaciones de ella para dominar la década.
3 ways that you can dominate the decade. Number 1, develop a 10-year strategy. What do you want your company to look like in the next 10 years? And design that strategy in 1-year increments. Now, here's something, I don't want you to fall off your chair with this, but I do want you to do this. And that is, in the very first year, I want you to take every obstacle that is before you, and I want you to address it. And that does not mean that I want you to solve it or resolve it, but I want you to address every obstacle. In every obstacle that you have, in every challenge that's within your business, you will find an opportunity that will vastly improve your business and will get you to goal for those 10 years. Over the next 5 years, I guarantee if you address every obstacle, if you address every challenge in that first year, by the time you get to year 5, those obstacles will become a memory. Number 2, you need to become a futurist. Futurists are those within our society that actually stand on the edge of tomorrow and look beyond and decide what needs to be done. What can I do? How can I do it? And then they simply come back into the present and they find someone or those communities who will actually help them to do it. You want to look outside of your territory and you want to develop channels of income and influence that are vastly diverse from what you currently are offering. Those businesses that are faring well have developed agility and fluid. They move from resource to asset. What we're seeing right now, this is a resource. Working with Corral Desk, they are a resource. I'm bringing to them an asset, and they become an asset of mine. I become an asset of theirs. That's how we develop those partnerships, and that's how we keep those things going. I'm going to let Gabby translate that, and then I'm going to come back to you with the number 3, because the number 3, I'm going to need you to lean in for that one.
Muy bien. De las 3 recomendaciones, la primera es desarrollar una estrategia para 10 años. Una estrategia de la empresa que dure 10 años, de aquí a 10 años, pero que sea anual. Entonces, el primer año se va nada más nos vamos a enfocar en direccionar los obstáculos o de identificar los obstáculos el primer año, porque todo obstáculo finalmente se convierte en una oportunidad. Entonces, el primer año se detectan los obstáculos y asegura Yvonne que para el 5º año todos esos obstáculos se convierten en oportunidades y nos dan la oportunidad de que van a estar nada más en nuestra memoria, porque ahora se convierten en oportunidades. En la parte número 2, hay que ser futurista, ir más allá. ¿Qué puedo hacer? ¿Cómo lo puedo hacer? ¿Y con quién lo puedo hacer? Y crear canales de ingresos y de influencia. Fluir con los recursos. Y se pone como ejemplo que fluir con los recursos que tenemos actualmente para convertirlos en ingresos. Es el ejemplo que nos está dando, que Coral Desk actualmente se está convirtiendo en un recurso que nos va a dar un ingreso en el futuro. A lo mejor no en un futuro inmediato, pero en el futuro a través de la planificación de nuestro tiempo y de nuestros recursos con la planificación de la década.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Here's number 3. So we're going to all lean in together. And this, I want you to really get and write this down. Give 90% of yourself and your business with no expectations of return. I just let that resonate for just a second with you. What that means is when you give 90%, you give of your time, you give of your knowledge, and you give value. You give that away. The return will present itself. And when that return presents itself, it will come back far greater than anything you could ever have done. What you must do to dominate the decade is you must see your purpose greater than yourself. Until you see that your purpose in life, in this business that you're in whatever it is that you do, is far greater than you, then the success will be there. It won't have to come. You won't have to run and chase after it. You will not have to look for it. It will be right there. Everything you need will be right in front of you.
Sí, es una recomendación encantadora. Nosotros tenemos que dar el 90% de nuestra parte, sin ninguna expectativa de ingresos. El 90% de nuestra parte puede ser en tiempo, en conocimiento, en valor. Y entonces, cuando nosotros tengamos un propósito más grande que nosotros mismos, dando ese 90%, el éxito vendrá sin esperar. Solo vendrá por haber nosotros dado ese 90% sin ninguna expectativa. Entonces, el éxito viene a nosotros.
Muchísimas gracias, Gaby. Thank you, Yvonne. Antes que me voy a preguntar cómo conectar con Yvonne, si nos están escuchando y tienen preguntas, comentarios, recomendaciones, ahorita pueden dejar en el área de chat aquí en el Zoom, o si nos estás viendo en Facebook, también estoy viendo y puedes hacer tus preguntas aquí en el Facebook abajo. We have some comment, wake up, shake up your dreams, by Micah. Thank you, Micah. Indeed, wake up and shake up your dreams is the way. So what, do we have any questions here? Let me open the chat here. So if you have any questions, you can leave them now behind or below here in the chat area. You can even open your microphone if you like to, or you can leave them in Facebook Live, which I'm also taking here. So if you have any questions, go ahead. So I think.
Hello, my name is Bailan Mejino, and thank you so much for having Yvonne up on your program. And it's wonderful that we're reaching the bilingual people around the world. My question is for Yvonne. How do businesses make the decision on whether they're going to go for government loans, especially right now? Are there some quick tips that you could give us about should I, and when I'm looking at what is being offered to me, how do I decide whether I take it or not? Because not all loans are the same. Thank you.
To do in making that decision is you're truly going to have to be that futurist, where you're going to have to look and determine what will my income stream look like, because those are loans, and they may give you 60, maybe 90 days where you don't have to a forgiveness of payment, but after 90 days, 60 or 90 days, you are going to have to start making that payment. So you're going to have to pretty much say, do I have the payment amounts in? Or what some will do, and some of the lenders will allow you to do, is to actually take out enough money so you will have, that's what I would suggest, is to take out enough money so you have 6 months of payment. Add that to your loan amount. It may seem like a lot, but what you have to realize is you may be ready to get back up and running, but your vendors or people that you work with or your clients may not be back up and running. So your income stream, may not come back up to where it was. So that's a very big tip that I would say, is to take out at least an additional 6 months of payments on that. But I would definitely tell people, if you are in the position to go after that loan monies, to definitely do so. And they are extending and bringing out another amount, in the States and throughout some of the other countries as well. Hopefully I answered your question, Bailan.
Gabby, if you want to just comment the question and the answer. So.
Sí, la pregunta que hicieron es con respecto a si es conveniente tomar créditos en Estados Unidos durante esta pandemia. La respuesta es sí. Si es que las condiciones así se dan, es conveniente hacerlo con las condiciones que están.
And we have here, what are the innovative initiatives you recommend today to small businesses?
What is the recommendation that I would make for, I didn't hear the last part of that.
What are the innovative initiatives you recommend today to small businesses?
The activities for, okay, you're fading out. You say the activities for.
What are the innovative initiatives you recommend today to small businesses?
What are the initiatives I would recommend to small businesses? Is that the question?
Yeah.
The initiatives that they take, as far as what do they want to do, or the different types of channels or different types of industries they might go into or different type of resources they may go into. What I would recommend is that if you were to take your career path, your resume, what you've done, or the resume of your business, it has a resume to it. And you see all the things that you do, and then you begin, and you put that down, you will begin to find what you actually are capable of doing and what other cross industries actually may fit directly into with what you're doing. That's where I would start first. That's one of the easiest things to do. Good case in point would be in venture capital. One of the easiest things that we could do is to do financial consulting or to go into insurance, because those are the types of things we have to do with every business that comes through, with every loan or with every venture capital that they get. There always has to be insurance. So that, or trust. We set up trust for people. So those would be what I would call other channels that we could go into, and we could actually expand our business into now, including those types of services and products. That's where you start first, with what is the most obvious. So do a resume on your business, all the things that you offer, all the things you do, and then begin to look in there, and the answers will present themselves to you.
Is there a difference also during and after COVID? If you would answer the same question, is there differences what you should do now during the COVID-19 and what you should do after the COVID-19?
What you should do now is take advantage of this time. Take advantage of this time. This is probably the best, well, I won't say it's the best thing that's happened to us, but when you think about it, we've never really had a time where we could just stop and just sit down, and all we had to do was time to think and to strategize. So what I would be doing now is I would be thinking, strategizing, working with my teams, working with mentors, work with your advisors, your board of directors, work with all of these people and put together a plan of action. That's what you should be doing now. Even contacting some customers or looking up potential customers that you may want to contact. After COVID-19, that's the time when you now want to actually put your plan into forward motion. You can begin today, and then once this is all over with, you basically will be ready to hit the ground running. But I would say start now. Don't wait until this is over to start going and start thinking about what I can do. Start strategizing, put that strategy together, do that expansion plan, and even begin to do some test marketing. This is a good time to do some test marketing out there. These are the types of things that you can be doing online and testing. How is that going to work? You may want to start offering classes online. Discovery, go out, put your Zoom class together, see how it works, see how it goes. This is just the perfect time in which to do it, because you have time. And you may not have this once COVID-19 is over, because people are going to have to be scrambling, trying to pull their businesses back together. So make use of this time while we have it.
So it's a very good exercise for Gabby's brain to memorize everything. So
Sorry.
Sí, en resumen, bueno, la pregunta era qué tipo de iniciativas de innovación se puede hacer, se recomienda para las pequeñas empresas durante esta pandemia de COVID y después de COVID. Lo que nos dice Yvonne es que se haga un análisis actual de la empresa, un currículum, ver qué es lo que tiene, consultar con sus asesores financieros, con sus consultores legales, con toda su gente y ver qué más se puede hacer. Cosas que no se han hecho o que no se tuvo el tiempo de parar y de estudiar lo que actualmente se tiene dentro de la empresa para poder entonces innovar en algunas cosas que se puedan hacer que no se habían hecho antes. Entonces es importante tomar ventaja de la situación, parar y analizar todo lo que implica la empresa y entonces sí hacer un plan para hacerlo realidad en cuanto pase la crisis. Incluso se tendrá tiempo para probar algo del mercado, para hacer algún estudio de mercado que le permita saber hacia dónde dirigirse después de la crisis o en donde innovar sus productos o sus servicios. Entonces es un tiempo de parar, analizar, para luego entonces hacer un plan y ejecutarlo en modo rápido después de la crisis. Ahora es el modo lento, pero en el momento de ejecutar es el modo rápido.
We have a question.
Very good.
We have a question here. What would you recommend to those businesses that don't have the traditional financially assist program from their country, as the United States provides to businesses during the crisis? So, what would you recommend to those countries that do not have that type of support by their countries?
Understood, understood. What I would recommend is this is the time to reach out to other businesses that say are larger than you, where some of the services that you have, you could provide to those businesses and begin some partnerships. This is the best time to start looking at how can I partner and who can I partner with? Because many times you we have that even here in the States where a large contractor will get the contract, they'll be the prime, and then the smaller companies, they will come on as subcontractors. There's no reason that you cannot group together and pool your resources and pool your talents and begin to use those and then go and offer. Remember how I said become a value and become a agile resource, and then that way you become a value to a company. Many of the larger companies, certain things, someone may be a human resources advisor or an independent contractor. That person can offer their services to a larger company. Because what's happening is a lot of the larger companies, they're looking at ways in which they may cut a service, and then they may bring on consultants or have everyone become consultants. So you could be someone who could advise them on how that can be done. So you've got to now, while you have the time, think outside the box, think outside of yourself, and look, who needs my services? Who needs what I can do? And how can I pull with others to do this?
La pregunta es, ¿qué se recomienda a los negocios o las empresas que hagan en los países donde no hay una ayuda financiera por parte del gobierno para poder mantenerse o crecer? Lo que recomienda Yvonne es igual, a partir del análisis que se hace de su negocio, ver la posibilidad de asociarse o de promover los servicios de la empresa a empresas más grandes. Reconociendo el talento de la empresa, que puede ser el personal, el servicio o cualquier talento que tenga la empresa, y darle valor a ese talento para poder ofrecerlo o asociarse con empresas más grandes. Actualmente las empresas grandes están realizando modificaciones en su forma de negocio y pueden requerir los servicios o los talentos de las empresas más pequeñas. Eso es lo que se puede hacer actualmente.
And we have the final question here. What are you doing for small business relief?
With the small business relief, that's a program that's primarily, here with that, we're actually offering grants to small businesses for for a dollar amount up to probably about $500,000, and we will be offering from that pool, and we will be giving away small business grants. The grants are just that, they're grants. They don't have to be paid back, because that's our giving, that's our 90%. And that we want to make certain that, as we're collecting the funds in from the different larger companies, larger concerns, many of my investors, they're coming forward and they will be putting into those pools of money, but they want to do something and they want to feel, that they have done their part and they have been responsible socially or what have you. And of course, they can't get around to, every single business that's out there, but we will get around to as many as we can.
Is that, does that apply to US market? Where does that apply, so that we are clear and people understand?
That applies primarily to the U.S. markets and to some of the different outlying markets. It does apply to, and those that accept the charitable giving, you know, the GoFundMe, which is a charitable nonprofit organization, offers. So any country that actually accepts that, and they have those trade agreements with GoFundMe because they manage the fund. And so as long as they accept it in that particular country, those countries can participate. And I can provide you, you know, with a list of those countries at a later point.
That would be fantastic, so we can communicate with our communities. So, Gaby.
Sí, en cuanto a qué se puede hacer con respecto a Small Business Relief, es un programa que se tiene que aplica en Estados Unidos y algunos países donde se tiene una regulación igual. Estos son créditos no reembolsables de hasta $500,000 para empresas que son suministrados a través de la fundación que Yvonne es la presidenta y que ella realiza a través de captación de inversionistas que quieren donar estos recursos para reactivar empresas o para hacer este tipo de créditos no reembolsables en donde se sienten socialmente responsables. Esto aplica para los Estados Unidos y algunos países con convenio y con las regulaciones pertinentes. No, ella nos puede suministrar una lista de esos países con los que actualmente se trabaja.
Muchísimas gracias, Gaby. Muchas gracias a todos, a todas que nos están viendo. Gracias por su tiempo. Hoy, como siempre, estamos aquí para ayudarte. Si tienes algunas dudas, preguntas y no quieres hacerlo así públicamente, nos puedes contactar y en un rato vas a saber también cómo contactar a Yvonne. Entonces, estamos aquí a sus órdenes. Muchísimas gracias, Gaby, por todo, absolutamente todo.
Thank you so much, Gaby.
Está un poco difícil de hacer de todo, pero como vemos.
Me encantó la actividad, pero me da pena no poder transmitir exactamente todo lo que Yvonne nos tenía que decir, pero hice mi mejor esfuerzo.
Yo creo que hiciste muy bien, mejor que podría yo, entonces estás muy bien. Entonces, how can people reach out to you, Yvonne?
The best way is just to go out to our website at www.sanpetefinancialgroup.com and take a look at our website, see all the different areas that we work in, and those that you are interested in. We have a contact page in there, and then you just put your information in, and we will contact you back with what you want, or you can contact us directly by telephone at +1 832-819-5260. And that's our toll-free 800 number where you can reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you, and you can most certainly reach out to us at SanPete Financial Group on Facebook. And, you know, just give us a shout out and let us know if you have any questions, comments, what have you, and we will definitely get back with you.
Toda la información va a estar en la página de Coral Desk, que Yvonne nos acaba de dar todos sus datos y podemos contactarla en cualquier momento y sobre cualquier tema relacionado con lo que nos acaba de explicar. Muchas gracias.
Gracias a todos, a todas. Si escuchaste hoy algo que piensas que puede ayudar a alguien más, por favor, comparte esa información. ¿Por qué? Porque tú puedes cambiar la vida en misma manera como nosotros estamos tratando de cambiar aquí contigo. Y si cambiamos hoy una vida, nuestra misión está completa. Por favor, comparte con sus amigos y más cercanos, y usualmente son 5. ¿Por qué? Porque somos nuestras conversaciones. Y quiero que pienses cada vez cuando necesitas tomar una decisión que es muy importante. quién es que te da como confianza para hacer una decisión. Pero siempre necesitas pensar si esa persona tiene experiencia en esa área. Porque si no, esas recomendaciones no se valen. Y especialmente en esas épocas en donde estamos ahorita. Si necesitas ayuda, aquí estamos en sus órdenes, estamos esperando que nos dices a dónde necesitas ayudar, cómo podemos apoyarte y cómo podemos apoyar nuestra comunidad. Estamos aquí mañana, mismo tiempo, a la 1 p.m., entonces nos vemos mañana y si tienes preguntas, dudas, aquí estamos a sus órdenes. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you, everybody that joined us. This is the first and most probably the last bilingual interview, but it was important enough to do it in bilingual. It is a little complicated, as you see, and takes a lot of time. But thank you very much for everybody that joined us, and we will see you tomorrow, 11 a.m. Los Cabos time is the English, and 1 p.m. in Spanish. And just take a look who are coming up next. And if you have, again, any questions, any remarks, any comments, you can leave them behind or below this video if you're looking after the live. And obviously, all contacts of Yvonne will be shared in the page of How to Dominate the Decade and on Coral Desk page. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Gracias, Gaby. Thank you, Yvonne. Y gracias a todos por ahora.
Okay, gracias, and thank you very much for having me.
My pleasure.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, Gabby.